Hello, everybody. How are you doing? And welcome back on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I believe it's July 21st, 2023, a little bit after 6 p.m. How is everyone doing? So, should we go to war for the countries we live in, no matter what country we live in? Does God support us and give us our backing for going to war in defense of the countries we live in? Does God really want us to be divisive? Well, there's one way of looking at it. Satan wants us to be divisive. How about if we turn to Judges chapter 7, verse 3? Judges chapter 7, and verse 3. It says, "Now, please, announce in the presence of the people, whoever is afraid and trembling, let him return home." So Gideon put them to the test. With that, 22,000 of the people returned home, and 10,000 remained. So the army of the Israelites started out with 22,000, and they decreased in number by 10,000. Now, why do you think that was? So that the honor and the glory would not go to themselves, to the Gideonites, but rather would go to their God Jehovah. How about if we look at Deuteronomy chapter 20, and verse 8. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 8. It says, "The officers should also ask the people, who is fearful and faint-hearted, he should return to his house, so that he may not cause his brothers to lose heart as he has." Okay, so there's a special stipulation even in the U.S. Constitution that says if you're too afraid to go to war, you don't have to go to war, because the chances and likelihood of you surviving are not that great. That's why you don't have to go to war. If you don't survive, the blood guilt is incurred upon the leader of the country's hands, whatever leader that is. Alright? So, how about if we go to Judges chapter 8 and read verses 4 through 10 just to answer the question as to whether or not we have Jehovah God's backing and support when going to war in this country. Judges chapter 8 verses 4 through 10. It says, "Gideon then came to the Jordan and crossed it. He and the 300 men with him were tired, but they kept up the pursuit. So he said to the men of Succoth, 'Please give loaves of bread to the people following me, for they are tired, and I am chasing after Zebah and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian.' But the princes of Succoth said, 'Are the palms of Zebah and Zalmunna already in your hand, so that we should give bread to your army?' At this Gideon said, 'Just for that, when Jehovah gives Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, I will give you a thrashing with the thorns and the briars of the wilderness.' And he went up from there to Penuel, and made the same request. But the men of Penuel gave him the same answer as the men of Succoth. So he said also to the men of Penuel, 'When I return in peace, I will pull down this tower.' Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor with their armies, about 15,000 men. These were all who remained of the entire army of the Easterners, for 120,000 men armed with swords had fallen." Alright, so, excuse me, excuse me. Hi, how you doing, everybody? Hope nothing got messed up. Um, so, like I was saying, the army of the Israelites, or the Gideonites, started out with 22,000 men, right? They decreased in number to 10,000 men, and then they decreased again down to 300 men, as it says in Judges chapter 8, verse 4. So they were going up against 120,000 Easterners, or in some Bibles say the Philistines. Remember that one? Alright. So, that's how we know that the U.S. government and the country of the U.S. and all the other nationalistic countries on the earth do not have God's backing and support. They do not have Jehovah's backing and support. And they cannot automatically call themselves Jehovah's people because they are not consulting Jehovah before going to war. There's just no way around it. How do we know that they do not have Jehovah's backing and support? Because of all the millions of lives lost due to bloodshed, which blood levels have risen clear to the heavens, as Revelation said, over the years since 1776, July 4th, 1776, the Civil War, the World War I and World War II eras. All those people died because of bloodshed, unnecessary war. But on the other hand, all 300 men of the Gideonites survived when going up against 120,000 Easterners. Only 15,000 remained out of those 120,000 Easterners. So, what do you say about that? There's some kind of a variation there. That's just an estimation. There's a reason why we say that. So the Gideonites had Jehovah's backing and support. The U.S. government and the country of the U.S. does not have Jehovah's backing and support because of all the lives lost that they engage in battle and war with the other countries over the years. It's just not possible. What about 2 Samuel chapter 24? 2 Samuel chapter 24. Um, well, this is about, I'm sorry, I'm in 1 Samuel. It's always important to pay attention to which book of the Bible you're in. 2 Samuel chapter 24. Alright. Alright, 2 Samuel 24, 1 through 3. Says the anger of Jehovah again blazed against Israel when one incited David against them, saying, Go, take account of Israel and Judah. So the king said to Joab, the chief of the army who was with him, Please go through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, and register the people so that I may know the number of the people. But Joab said to the king, May Jehovah your God multiply the people 100 times, and may the eyes of my lord the king see it. But why does my lord the king want to do such a thing? So it may seem like a good idea to increase the count of the army of the Israelites, but in Jehovah's eyes it was a bad thing to happen. And why? Because he didn't consult Jehovah in the first place to see whether or not it was good or right to go to war against their enemies. So who is this one that incited David against them when he said, Go, take account of Israel and Judah? Well, our clue is in 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. It says, Then Satan stood up against Israel and incited David to number Israel. So that one that incited David, that was Satan. Now keep in mind that while the Bible mentions Satan from time to time, it does not keep its focus on Satan the devil, but rather keeps its focus on Jehovah and Jehovah's kingdom in the future. Alright, so that's just a mere mention of Satan. The Bible is not a book of Satanism, it's not a book of devil worship, not a book of Satan worship, nothing like that. So what David failed to do was consult the Urim and the Thummim when they were casting lots. People would cast their votes or write their votes down on paper, put it into the Urim and the Thummim, which are boxes, and whoever withdrew the right vote, that would be on the part of the Holy Spirit of Jehovah. Jehovah would tell them, based on the votes of people dropping into the Urim and Thummim, what their decision should be, what action they should take when going to war or not going to war. Alright? So I apologize for any discrepancies. I apologize for any inconsistencies in the video. I had a few alerts saying it needed to be restarted or rebooted. I had someone knocking on the window. A lot of interruptions. That's why I came outside, to be free from interruption. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you see why it is Satan who is leading us into the warpath, not Jehovah our God. Jehovah our God is the God of love, a God of peace. He's not a God of war. Satan wants us to be fighting each other, not Jehovah our God. Jehovah our God is a God of love. Alright? Thank you, everybody. Take care. God bless. And may Jehovah's Holy Spirit be with you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.